the way, speaking of Jamestown, my next guest is a native of Jamestown, and he's been a lawyer for 47 years. But most importantly, he's the co-founder of the Robert H. Jackson Center. And I will look at you as my official historian today. Greg Peterson, how are you, sir?
I'm delighted. Welcome to Jamestown, New York.
I'm happy to be here. I'm happy to be back, actually. I haven't been back in about 20 years. But when I first came here, you were still sort of recovering, if you will, from losing some of the economic strength that you had as a furniture building capital, and the trains used to come in all the time, right? I mean, the Comedy Center is actually an abandoned train station, right? The train still comes by, but it's not a passenger train. It's freight train every once in a while. But give me the evolution, if you can, about where we were and where we are in Jamestown.
Well, I think you started it with the idea of it being originally a wood furniture manufacturing location, and then subsequently it morphed itself into a metal manufacturing organizations, many, and now we feature the likes of SKF, which is a ball bearings, international ball bearings company. Cummins.
By the way, if you're going to be a ball bearings company, you better be international.
We better be international,
yeah.
And we are, and we have so many wonderful and diverse. That's what perhaps is the nice thing about the economy here. It's the diversity of it all. While one sector may have faded away, another has risen, and the sum total has been a consistency here in Chautauqua County.
Now, many of my listeners may not know the name Robert Jackson. It's a great Jeopardy question. So why don't you start with the question?
Well, the question is, name the only person in the history of the United States to be an Attorney General, Solicitor General, and a Justice of the United States. And who was Robert H. Jackson? Our guy here, who, by the way, graduated from Jamestown High School and local schools, and in addition, never went to college, never graduated from law school, read for the law, and then became what many say is probably the most prolific writer in the Supreme Court. Oh, I forgot to mention, he was the chief American prosecutor at the Nuremberg trial.
I was waiting for that, yeah. For those people who've never seen the movie, Judgment at Nuremberg, I highly recommend it.
Indeed.
And in fact, I was just over in Nuremberg a couple of months ago, and it was unbelievable to me because you know what they still kept there? The original rally grounds. Mm-hmm. When Hitler addressed everybody, you can still go up on the stand. And it's breathtaking.
It is breathtaking, very emotional. I know we have taken many tours back to Nuremberg, and some people are delighted to have the photo op. Many people are saying, I want nothing to do with that. So it's an emotional, in one sense, cathartic location.
Well, whether you want the photo op or not, it's emotional.
No question.
But let's talk about his work in the United States.
Sure. Justice Robert H. Jackson was the Attorney General, as I mentioned, also the Solicitor General. In fact, Louis Brandeis, while he was Solicitor General, was so awed by Jackson's performances that he thought he should be Solicitor General for life. And then as Attorney General, he was there during the time period where President Roosevelt was dealing with the issues of supporting Britain without going to Congress.
And without being in the war.
Correct, absolutely. So it's 1940. And so it was Robert Jackson, as Attorney General, wrote the opinion upon which President Roosevelt relied on proceeding with the exchange of bases for vessels. And that was the beginning of our involvement in assisting Britain.
He gave us legal justification.
Absolutely.
Wow, I'm saying this to a lawyer.
Well, he did, and he wrote the opinion, and rumor has it that he actually wrote the opinion while sitting in a park bench here in Jamestown, New York.
As you should.
As well, I should.
Is that bench still here?
It is.
Have you sat in it?
I have.
Describe Jamestown to me now.
Jamestown proper is at the lower end of Chautauqua Lake. Chautauqua Lake is really the jewel of our area, and its population a little less than 30,000 people proper, and within the immediacy, it's about 75,000 people live in the area. This has become very much a tourism destination, anchored by Chautauqua Lake, and at the tip.
Well, Chautauqua Lake has brought people to this area for decades and decades and decades.
Decades. And Chautauqua Institution, which is at the other end of the lake, is just world-renowned and has brought an immense amount of people. And I'm looking out at where we are having the studio here at the National Comedy Center, and that, of course, has become worldwide known.
And, you know, everybody says the minute you talk about comedy, it's not funny. That breaks the mold on that one, because the minute you walk in there, you're laughing.
Oh my gosh, it's state of the art, and I think for those that were somewhat in the beginning, and I guess I'm one of them, had no idea, could not envision what it is today. So it's beyond the pale, and it's a full day. It's a full day excursion, and you'll come back with your belly hurting from just aching so much in laughter, and at the same time, an opportunity to say, I got to go back and see the rest of it.
But there's so much great history there.
Oh, unbelievable.
Did you go in the Blue Room?
I have.
You did?
I did.
Did you peel back the curtain?
I did.
You admit to that?
I am admitting to most of it. Yeah, not everything.
Oh, really? Okay, would you please explain to me the Jamestown Professional Baseball Committee?
Oh, my gosh. Yes. The team itself is called the Jamestown Tarp Skunks. I'll go slower. Jamestown Tarp Skunks.
Now you have to explain that.
Yeah, I have to explain that. And what happened is a few years ago, a community group similar to the Green Bay Packers kind of mold, about 50 people in the community purchased a franchise in the Perfect Game Collegiate Baseball League, and we were previously known as the Jamestown Jammers. Nice alliteration. And so we wanted to change the name, and as would have it, our general manager at the time was musing about what the name should be. The grounds crew guy said, hey, by the way, the tarp, which goes on the field, is broken, ripped. We need to roll it out. And the grounds crew guy says, no way, it's April. And when I roll that tarp, which is on a cylinder, inside, hibernating all winter, are skunks. So if you roll a tarp, that means you roll the cylinder. They're not happy. So if you're on either end of that, not a good move. So the end result was the general manager doesn't think about that aspect of it. He thinks, skunks and a tarp, skunks. And so hence the origination of the name. It's found itself in form of very wonderful logos, of which, Peter, when we get done, I'll have you pose for one. And it's become the Tarp Skunks, and really has been the hottest logoed item. We could have never guessed that the term Tarp Skunks would take on national interest.
Are the skunks still there?
Absolutely.
Come on.
Come on, you come down and visit them. They might autograph the hat for you.
And how's the team doing?
Well, we start in June. It's made up of collegians, Division 1, 2, and 3, and they come here for 2 months and play baseball.
And any of them go to the majors?
We've had in the past our prior teams, Nellie Fox, Gary Carter, Randy Johnson.
Whoa. Nellie Fox?
Yeah.
You're going back.
Well, you and I are probably similar vintage. So Nellie Fox started here, so he from Jamestown to Cooperstown. Gary.
You know what I remember about Nellie Fox? He always had a wad of tobacco in his cheek.
That's right. Nellie Fox did. He played center field here. Then he became a second baseman.
Unbelievable. Okay, and who else? Gary
Randy
Carter?
Johnson, Gary Carter.
From the Mets.
Yeah. And he played here when he was with the Expos.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing.
So we have a history, and the most recent guy played with the Savannah Bananas, and that's probably even bigger than Cooperstown.
If nobody understands who the Savannah Bananas are, you need to go see one of their games. They're the only team where a foul ball caught by a spectator is an out.
That's right.
I mean, that's all I can tell you. You got to check that out. Unbelievable. Oh my God, Greg Peterson, thank you so much for joining us.
Peter Greenberg, thank you.
You got my name back. I love it. Okay. And we'll be back with more from the National Comedy Center right here in Jamestown, New York, right after this.